global send keys, like again I have a global send events, hide all windows, launch, terminate. So what happens is this actions drop down changes on basis of this elements. Okay, this action drop down changes based on this element section. So if we drag this text section, this elements get changes. As here I'm dragging a path value. Okay, as I'm dragging a main window or a path value, I'm getting actions called attach, detach, and launch, terminate kind of things. So here what I want to perform, I want to open a notepad that is nothing but a launch. So here I don't find anything called of action is nothing but a what sort of action you want to perform, whether you want to launch, whether you want to terminate, whether you want to attach, or whether you want to detach. These are all actions. Okay, launch is nothing but to open a page. Terminate is nothing but to close. Okay, launch is equal to open. Terminate is equal to close. Attach is nothing but, let's say I have a flow here. I have a pre-built flow and I'm building a new flow. If I want to perform, like if I want to attach, like if I want to integrate my new flow with my already created a flow, I go with the attach sections. Okay, to detach them, we go with the action called detach. I hope this is clear. So as I was telling, global send keys are nothing but what are the global values? It's visible to all, right? Anyone can access it. So that is nothing but a global send keys. Okay, when you create your global send keys, here you can write your intervals, like here you can give your values, and this values becomes your global value. Okay, and as I was telling you, I want to launch an notepad. So that's the reason I'll go with a launch stage and click on OK. I'll not give anything here. Don't give anything here. You can directly directly select the actions you want to select. Okay, click on OK. So here you see my launch, like my action has been created. What I'll do, I'll just delete this and run my action. Okay, run this launch. Let me close even the. It's not for a two flows. It's for actions. Like let's say I have this action. Okay, I have this process here. This is a subflow. This is one flow, and I have a actions over here. I'm creating a terminate over here. So now when I want to attach this action and this action, at that stage I go with a attach by dragging a new navigate. Okay. So now let me show you by executing this launch stage. So here you see I've given a launch action and clicking on my play button. Here you see I did not do anything, right? I've just executed my operation, that is to launch. It has been launching. Now in the same way I'll show you to close it. I'll show you to close this particular sort of notepad from here. Okay, to close this notepad, what you do, the same thing again. Drag your navigate stage, double click on your navigate stage, drag your notepad element to your element section, and in your actions select the action as a terminate. Terminate is nothing but to close the action. Okay, so let me close this and show you by performing it. Reset your flow and run the flow. So here you see it automatically closed my application. I don't have any sort of application open here. I don't have my like notepad open. Okay, did you all understand how to launch your Windows application and close your Windows application. Is it clear for everyone? Okay, great. So what I'll do is next is I'll write. Okay, I'll write there in that particular section in a notepad. I'll launch first, then I'll write, and then I'll close it. Okay, so to write, I have to make use of my write stage. Sorry, I have to make use of my write stage. Okay, so here what I do is, as you all can see, I have a section, like I have captured a section here, right? To write a text, I've captured a text section. So what I'll do is, I'll just drag my write stage onto my editor, double click on my editor. Okay, I'll double click on my editor, and there in my values section, I'll drag a data item. What value to be returned. Okay, I'll drag a data item, what value to be returned. So let's say it's a notepad. Let's say the data item name is notepad, and I want to write a hello. Okay, so I'm just dragging this data item to my value section. Here you can see in my data item with the name of notepad, my initial my value is as hello. So this value, what you can see as a hello, is nothing but this is to be written. Okay, so now I've given the value there, what value to be written after launching my notepad in my value section. And then in my element section, what I'll do now is I'll give the path or element where it, or a section where it has to write this particular value. So it has to write in my text section, right? It has to write in my text section. That is what I'm just dragging your text section in your element stage. And then don't do any changes, click on OK. Okay, once you click on OK, reset your flow, run your flow. Sorry, it will throw an error. This error is because I have not launched my notepad. Without launching the notepad, I am writing it, right? So that's the reason I was getting a error. So here what I am doing, I am showing you a bit process. Like first launching, I'm executing process differently. Like I'm first launching it, going to my launch page, I'm running, and then going to my right page, and then I'm running it. I'm doing some such things, right? Now I'm just showing in the this for your initial understanding. At the end, what I'll do is I'll publish this flows. Okay, I'll publish all these actions, and I'll be performing these actions from my process studio directly. If the question is like every time I have to launch, then my simple answer is like, without opening a browser, can you navigate to a URL? Like without using your browser? No, right? In the same way, if you don't, if you don't launch the page or don't launch the application, where it will write? If you perform a write action, where it will write? It will not understand where to be written, right? So that's the reason you have to launch your application first, and then we have to execute our return. Okay, so here what I as told, like I'm showing you the process or showing you the execution in a bit phase. First launch phase, then I'm going to launch page, running this launch page, going to my close page, running this close page, and all these things, right? I'll publish this flows, and I'll show you how to make use of your action stage in your process studio. Okay, so now I have created a flows to launch. I've created a flow for a close. I've created a flow for write. Right. So before creating a action, or before publishing these actions and creating a process, a flow in a process, let's first check it whether these three, launch, close, and write, are working or not. Okay. So click on your launch sub page, run your page. So it has to write. Sorry. I've not reset it. Go back to your launch, reset and run. So it is launching. Sorry, it is launch my notepad. Okay. Yeah, it is possible. You can even create a launch, a close, write, everything in one page. I've created in a different page just to make you people understand. Okay. So here you can see my launch action is performing good. So then I'll just go to, like, before going to a close page, I'll go to my write stage and I'll execute this write stage. Reset and execute. Okay. So here the element has not been given, right? Let's drag this element over here and click on OK. Now reset it and run this. So here you can see in my notepad, the hello has been printed or written. Did I write anything? I did not do anything. I just ran the flow. It has written, and when I go and run the flow of a close, it will close. Sorry, I have to reset it again. Reset and close. It closed the notepad. Right? Did you now understand how to make use of your how to make use of your write stage and why your write stage has been used? How to download it and get my license? So the things related to your software and related to your licenses, I'll definitely tell you at the end. Once I complete this object studio, I'll definitely come back to your software downloads and your licenses. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll publish this flow, whatever object I've written here, a small flow what I've created here, I'll publish this particular flow to my process studio. Now I'll show you how to publish them. Click here. Okay, so in your object studio, the ways are different to publish. In your process studio, the ways are different to publish. Okay, so in your object studio, you can go to this actions page, click on right click. Okay, give a right click, and then you have an option called publish. Just set that. Okay, initially before publishing, you will have something like this. You'll have a page something like this. When you right click and click on publish, this will get published. Here you can see a cube type of icon I have got, right? That indicates that my flow is been published. Okay, so in this way I have already published my launch, close and write. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just save this. I'll just save this and cut the flow. Okay, now I'll go back to my process studio. I'll go back to my process studio. Don't no worries, I'll explain you wait and read even in our next process. So here I'll just create a new flow again, or let me go with this CIT session. Okay, just let me delete this things from here. I'm just deleting all the things from here, resetting the flow, and now I'll make use of my action stage here. I'll make use of my action stages. So how many sort of actions you have created there in my object studio now uh, for your Windows application? Can I get the answer from the participants? How many sort of actions we have created in my object studio for your Windows application? Great. We have created 3 actions, which is launch, write and a close, right? So that's the reason I have to drag 3 action stages there. Okay, drag your 3 action stages, use your connect with start to your action 1, action 1 to action 2, action 2 to your action 3, action 3 to your end. Okay, so now double click on your action, and from this business object, just select the notepad. So you can see all the objects studio flows in this drop down. So here I have to select the notepad, right? So let me select the notepad. Here it is. Select the notepad, and under this I have shown three options, like three actions. So it is like we have created a three actions over there. In this drop down, I'm getting the three actions. So first action is to be performed is launch. So just select the launch and click on OK. In the same way, for your second action and your third action, go to your business object, go to your drop down, select it as a notepad, and from actions, click on and then click on OK. Go to your actions, go to your object, notepad, action is close, click on OK, reset the flow and run the flow. So it has launched, it has written, it has closed. So all the operations are performed in a single go. Okay, whenever you want to publish a flow created in your object studio, you have to first publish it to your process studio, and from here this process studio flow need to be published to your control room. Okay, so now what you have to do is I'll show you the process how to publish your flow to your control room. Now there what we have done in my object studio, we have gone to our actions page and then we have clicked on right click, and there we had an option for a publishing, right? But in your process studio you don't have it in that way. In your process studio you can find some square box here, right, where you can find your flow name, who has created it and at what time we have created it. All the data has been given here, right? So on this particular box or a squared box or a rectangular box, you need to give a right click. Okay, you need to give a right clicks. Once after giving a right click there, you have a properties option. Okay, so you have a properties option. Just click on this properties option, and there at the end you have an option to publish the flow to your control room, right? If you just check the box of this and click on OK, your process or your flow has been published to your control room, and this green color tick mark indicates that your process has been published to your control room. Okay, so is everyone clear how to publish your flow to your control rooms and how to make use of your action stage? Is everyone clear? Great, thanks. So now what we will do it, you can create an action again. If you want to relaunch a number of notepads, create number of actions, that's it. And yep, so now you have seen your navigate, like you have seen the stage for your navigate, you have seen the stage, you have seen the right stage, but we have not worked with our read stage and a wait stage, right? So let's make use of my read and wait stage now. For this, what I'll do is I'll just show you a small see, why did I go with my process studio is, see here when I run here in this object studio, when I, okay, this is not the one, let me open that, I've closed it, right? So let me open the notepad. So see, I want that particular object studio doesn't communicate directly with your control room. When we want to publish the digital workers created in your object studio, we have to publish it to a process studio, and through process studio we have to communicate it to your uh, control room, like we have to publish it to our control room. Okay, that's the main reason. And now as I was telling you, I'll make use of your read stage and your wait stage. For this, making use of your read stage and main stage, read stage and your wait stage, I'll not go with any sort of Windows application. Let's move with a browser based application. Okay, let's move with a browser based application. Okay, so let me create a new object here again. So the same thing, click on your window, like application modular, click on your application modular. Let's keep the same name, click on next, and here let's select our browser based applications. Okay, and then click on next, and then again it is asking the same thing. So here you see my Chrome is already running, right? So if I select my first option, it will launch to my, like it will launch a window in my running application, like it will open a new tab in my running windows. Okay, so if I launch in my second option, that is nothing but a browser that is launched from an executable file. If I select the second option, what happens is whenever I run this particular this particular flow, whenever I run this particular flow, it will launch a new tab, like it will launch a new window for my Chrome. Okay, I'll show you. I'm just selecting an option to launch a new window. Okay, so then click on next. So here what it is asking, it is asking a path to me, right? So it has to know, right? When you, if you see this application modular, I have selected a browser based application where in brackets, I had my Chrome, I had my Mozilla, I had my, Microsoft Edge. I had three options. So it has to know, right? Which browser I have to launch, right? So that's the reason I have to give the path here, which sort of browser we wanted to launch. Okay, to give the path, click on your browser, go to your program files, and in this program files, go to your Google, and then in your Google folder, you will have a Chrome folder. Then in that you will have an application folder, and here I have my Chrome setup. Okay, this you have to select this particular Chrome setup file and click on open, right? So when I click on open on that particular setup Chrome setup file, here you see my path has been identified. The setup file path has been identified, right? Now click on next. So it is nothing but we have given a path for my path of my Chrome browser. Click on next. So here what it is asking, it is asking for a URL. It is asking for a URL where it has to write. Okay, it asking for a URL where it has to be written. So let me give a URL of a LinkedIn. Okay, let us launch a LinkedIn page and give the URL. Let me log out my LinkedIn first. So this is your LinkedIn page, right? Copy this URL, go to your application modular and give the path there, and click on next. Click on next and click on finish. So here you see the main window has been created. Okay, here when you go to the properties, you can see the Chrome browser's setup, browser setup file path, the URL which has to be navigated. Okay, under that I have a element, or operations what we have to perform. Okay, so after launching your LinkedIn page, what you do? What you do to get logged into your LinkedIn page? Dear participants, what we do, like I have launched this LinkedIn page now, right? So by just launching this, can I access my LinkedIn? We'll give our username and passwords, right? We'll give our username and password, right? In the same way, what we'll do is we have launched now. Once after launching, we have to write our username and password, right? So for that, give the name as username, give the name as username, click on launch. So my LinkedIn URL will be launched. Okay, again. So here you see my URL has been launched. Over the URL I have given here, it's been launched in a new window. I've given while I was setting up my application, modular application, I've selected it. The window should be launched from my executable file, right? So that's the reason a new window has been opened in my Chrome browser. Okay, and it has been navigated to a URL what we have given. So now we have to write a username here, right? We have to write a username over here. To do the things, you need to click on this identify. First, we have to capture the element, right? We have to capture the section and tell it where the username to be written, right? So that's the reason we'll be capturing this username field. Now, how to capture this username field is you will get a option called identify over here after launching the web page. Click on this option called identify. Then again the same thing. Previously you got your bounded blue color bounded boxes, right? So now you can see you have a violet colored or a purple colored something, right? So as I wanted to capture the username field, I'm just hovering my mouse pointer on my username and then clicking on, and then I'm just clicking on right click or control plus left mouse button, which is for capturing the element. Okay, which is for capturing your element. Okay, here you see all the attributes have been captured. So here when you click on this match, when you click on this match, all the elements which are been selected comes first. Okay, all the elements which have been selected comes first. So here what we do is we uncheck the elements which are not necessary for us. Here you see web access key has been checked, but the value is empty, right? So we don't need it. Just delete this. Okay, just delete this. Here you see you have a path. Let me increase the screen. Right, you have your path in a form of HTML. So you don't need to change this path, because with the help of this path only my username, like my fields have been recognized. Okay, my fields have been recognized. So web address is nothing but this address. So now you can, you can go with this. Usually like when you are performing your currency converters, we don't check this, because once after giving your input values in your currency converter, it changes the URL. Okay, it changes the URL. If the URL has been changed, and if this particular address path is been checked, it will not be able to perform the next action. Okay, that's the reason we don't when we go with our uh, currency converter or a web applications, we don't check this. We uncheck this web buttons. For this, for now, if you are checking or unchecking, it's not a problem. Okay, it's optional one for this, for login page. Okay, so now you can see I have unchecked only this web access key because the value is empty and it is unnecessary for me. So I'm just clicking on OK. Done. So I've captured my username. So in the same way, what I'll do is I'll quickly capture my other actions. Okay, I'll quickly capture my other actions, which is a password and sorry, which is a password and a login button. Okay, Let me click capture this password, give the name as a password, click on identify. Yes, it can be worked with any sort of website. So here, go to your password section and capture that particular element. To capture, as you know, control plus left mouse button. Control plus left mouse button is to capture. Control plus right mouse button is to cancel the capture. Okay, to cancel the capture. I'm not sure whether it has captured properly or not. Let me delete it and create a new one. Password and identify the field. Control plus my left mouse button. So with this, you can see my element got captured. All the attributes got captured. The same thing. Let us uncheck this web access key. Okay. And if you want to check whether the elements or whether the what we say sections have been captured properly or not, to check that, we have an option called highlight over here. We have an option called highlight. When you click on this highlight, it will show which sort of section has been captured or which sort of element has been captured. Web ID is okay. So warning is there because I already have I have two tabs of my LinkedIn, right? That's the reason I'm getting a warning. So here, when it comes to a web id is nothing but when you go with when you create some web ids, you give your names to it, right? You give the section names. So that has been captured, web id and your web name. You can uncheck web id, it's not a problem. Okay, so here, as only my web access keys are empty and it is a checked, I'm unchecking it. Hope this highlight is clear for you all. This highlight option is given to check if the sections are captured properly or not. Okay, if I click on this highlight, you can see I've been shown with a red colored bounded box which section has been captured. Okay, so let me go with our last one, which is a login button, nothing but a sign in this case, right? So again, the same thing. Click on identify, hover your mouse, right click, control plus your left click. So the elements got captured. Uncheck this access key. And here you can see in your web elements type, it has captured the value as your button. As this is a button, it automatically captures the element as your button over here. Okay, got it? So now let's highlight it and check. So it has captured it properly. Now click on apply and click on OK. Okay, so we are done with all the capturings. We are done with the sections capturing. So now what we do is, let's go back to our flow and create a process for it. What sort of flow to be run? Okay, so what is my first step? My first step is to launch my LinkedIn page, right? My first step is to launch my LinkedIn page, right? So for that, I'll make use of my navigate stage, and let's drag our navigate stage. As I've informed, navigate stage is used to navigate or to launch, right? Let's double click on this navigate stage, drag my CIT web element in this element section, and in this action elements, as I want to launch it, I am selecting a launch button. Okay, enough. Click on OK. So my first one, let's rename it from navigate 1 to launch. And someone from the participant has asked whether we can create all these actions in a same page, right? Yes, we can do create. I'll do the same thing now. I'm launching it. After launching, I have to write a username over there, right? I have to write a username. So before I'll let us drag this now. I'll show you why I'll use a wait stage. So after launching, as I have to write a name there, I have to write my username, right? So that is the reason I'm going with my write stage. Okay, and double clicking on this, and the value, what the value should be written is my username, right? Let's create a username. My username is a number. That's the reason I'm creating a data item of a number. Okay, here I'm giving it as a username, the name of my data item as a username, and the value I'm giving here. Okay, clicking on OK. Now I'm dragging this username data item to my value section, and this elements, I am dragging this username element to my element section, because in this particular element my username value should be written. Okay, click on OK. Great. So now let's just check this, whether these things are working or not. Link, go click on your link stage, link start to your launch, and launch to your writer one to your end. Okay, let me check. Okay, it's not been launched. Reset. So I don't have any sort of errors in this flow. Let me launch this. So here you can see my number has been written there, right? This is how we make use of my navigate stage and a write stage. Now what I'll do is, just to show you, I'll make use of my read stage, and I'll read this particular you know, text. Welcome to your professional community. The text is there here, right? I'll just read this text with the help of your read stage. Now I'll show you how to make use of your read stage. Come, drag your read stage here below your right, double click on your read stage, double click on your read stage. And before doing this, we need to go back to our application modular, and we need to, you know, tell this, right? We need to tell this which sort of things to be captured. Like we have to tell, right, which, from where, from which section it has to capture. That's the reason. Let me go back to my LinkedIn page, which is already logged out. So I wanted to capture this particular section, right? So in that, that's the reason. I'll just go back to my process studio. Sorry, I'll go back to my object studio, in that to my application modular, and here I'll create a new child, sorry, new element, and I'll write as a read. Okay, I'm giving it as a read, and then clicking on identify. So I'm going to go back, and here you can see a bounded box has been coming. And one more thing, guys, here, did you observe or not? On my left top, you can see, using the identification tool, a browser mode. Did anyone notice this? Did anyone of our participants noticed this? What this browser mode is? So here in your capturing, this is nothing but I'm capturing the elements, right? To capture these elements, I have 4 modes: browser mode, UI mode, browser mode, UI mode, and Windows mode, and one more mode I have. Okay, UI, and I have a decision tree sort, not tree sort of a mode. Overall will have 4 sort of modes. Okay, when we go with our browser, we get our browser mode. When we go with our Windows application, we get our application mode, or the Windows application. So I'll show you all the modes here. To change this mode, I'll click on Alt. By you, yeah, Windows mode is nothing but Win32. Win32 is used only for your Windows application, to capture your Windows application. Okay. To switch between your modes, you can make use of your Alt button. This is your UI mode, yeah, and this region mode. The other one is your region mode. These all are 4 different modes what we have for your capturing. And now If you go with your Windows application, you use